What is up, guys? I am Sensei Finito, and this is Battery CEO, and welcome to another episode of Marvel Bros, where we discuss all things Marvel and everything pop culture. You already know.
Yep, and today we're checking out A Quiet Place 2. We're going to kind of review, give our thoughts. Before that, please make sure to follow us on all of our social medias at Marvel Bros 23 on our Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and our YouTube, where we post all of our videos and a lot more.
That is right. And you can also check out our website, www.marvelbros.com, where you can join our Discord in the top right-hand section, check out our merchandise, and, basically help us out with everything that we do here, to better it for you guys. And you can also listen to all of Marvel Bros pop culture news updates on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Google Podcasts. So with all that out the way, like my man Battery was saying, we're going to talk about A Quiet Place 2. So I just want to get out the way first. Theaters are open here in Merced, where we live.
Yep.
And it was our first experience in a year and like a half, I believe, of the movie experience, man. And the last movie we saw was Onward, and A Quiet Place 2 is the first movie that we saw back from this whole COVID thing. And the experience was awesome. I had my popcorn, soda, sitting next to my boy. It was cool. It was interesting though.
I know. We forgot how small the seats were. How cramped it could be.
Yeah.
We had a whole group. It was just like, oh man, this is.
It was like, geez, man.
But a good time nonetheless. But definitely something I do have to say though. Hats off to the director, John. Is it John?
Yeah, John Krasinski.
Oh my gosh, he killed it with this one. He really did.
Definitely killed it.
I think last movie he had help with writing. This one he wrote this one on his own.
I thought he wrote the last one fully. He
had someone else help him. This one
Dang.
was on his own.
I agree with you. Okay, so let's format this like this. We'll do how about non-spoilery stuff first, and then we can save for all the spoiler stuff for like last, just so people who are watching who haven't seen it yet, we don't spoil too much for them, and then people that watch on the replay can be like, okay, that's amazing. So I also hats off, like you just said, to John Krasinski. He did an amazing job with this movie, brother.
Really did.
It truly kept us on the edge of our seat through the entire thing, yo.
It was a lot. I was just like, yo, like thing after thing after thing went down. And like right off the bat, the first one was really quiet,
Yes.
And we see that. This one, it's quiet, but it's a lot more sound. Yeah. But like there's way more depth, and like I don't know, like it's just that what they did, it's a good sequel. Like it's might be better, if not just as good as the first.
I don't know, man. That's one thing that me and Remy were talking about on the drive home was like I kind of think the first one was a little bit better. But that's coming from a spot because I didn't watch it before we went and saw it today, and you did though, so you got that. So me and me and Bat always have like our separate views of the thing because we go into it differently. So I'll ask you, seeing the first one today as well and going into the second one, do you think that it was good, like story wise, cohesively? Did it pick up how you wanted it to? Like did that meet your expectations as a sequel?
Going into this, I wanted to see more of like picking up right where we left off, and we got that in a way. I would have liked to actually see it, and if you guys watch, you'll understand what I mean. But I liked what they did. I think it worked. And like we could talk more about like the beginning when we get into spoilers, but in terms of expectations, that's kind of the only really expectation I really had, honestly, was like I wanted to see it pick up right where it left off. And I wanted to see more of the prequel stuff, or like stuff happened before. Like how did they, like in the first one we see in his like little basement there's newspapers, we see reports and stuff like that. I would have liked to see that stuff. More of that at least. But but it was also interesting to see how fast things quickly turned,
escalated from nothing to all out mayhem. Yeah, I agree with that. One thing I'll say is not only did he do an amazing job with making this movie, but every single actor did a really good job at playing their roles. Even the children did an amazing job of, playing that role. There wasn't really nothing was stale to me, I'll say, like everything was very believable. Everything was like, what the hell is going on? Like, and that's one thing that I commend everyone that was a part of this movie. And as we were saying, like through the movie, like, it was like, the cut scenes and the switch was amazing cinematography. I think those.
What were your expectations coming into this? Because you didn't get a chance to see it before you got to watch it, but like, what were you expecting? So,
honestly, I had similar expectations to yours, but on the opposite scale, I'll say. I was expecting, like, from the jump when we even first heard about this movie, if you remember, like during the pop culture news update, I was like, I hope this is a prequel, not a sequel. Like, that's kind of what I wanted from the movie. Remy said the transitions were fire.
Yeah, they really were.
Definitely were. But seeing the movie, it was like, man, I really seeing the trailer, I was very happy because it made it seem to me like we were gonna have a lot more prequel stuff. You know what I mean? Because I was like, oh yeah, buddy. Like, I think we even talked about that a little bit. It was because I even when we saw the trailer the first time, I was like, bro, this is a prequel, right? And you were like, no, this is a sequel. And I was like, it's like, no, I wanted it to be a prequel so bad. But seeing it really, I'm going to say it met a lot of expectations that I wanted, but it went about it a good way. You know what I mean? I'll say it went about it a good way to where I wasn't disappointed by the moves that they made in the movie, is what I'll say. You know what I mean? Like, each move was really good. Like, I think my expectations were super, super higher for this movie, though, like than most people's were, because I really liked the first one so much. And like, I had super high expectations for this movie just right off the bat. Like, I knew John Krasinski was going to do his thing, which he did. And I knew that quiet, like, there's nothing that's been quiet, and we've seen this like that. The monsters, I really like how the monsters work. I loved everything about this. I think you even said that he plans on making this like a whole universe. So I even love that. I love everything about this, man. So at times, I was angry that I was so confused is one thing that I will say. Like, it was like, what's happening? Like, you know what I mean? Like, and then once I figured out, towards the end, I kind of figured out a few things that were going on before it actually happened. And then I got happy because I was like, all right, for sure. I got it. I got it. I'll say it met my expectations, but at the same time, it didn't meet all of them. Yeah. Can you agree with that?
Yeah, I can completely agree and understand your viewpoint on that. And in terms of the writing, it was written beautifully. Everything that took place in the movie had a purpose. Even like
the littlest,
even like a sign language, like what happened one time. And you're just like, oh my gosh, it's a thing. It's a thing.
It's the circle thing. Yeah.
And it just comes back around. And to see that type of development in the movie was awesome. The characters were great. I wish we got more from certain characters. But for the most part, all the main characters got their moment to shine. Yes. And their moment to create chaos in the audience.
And it wasn't a cheesy way either. Yes. You know what I mean? Yes. They did a very good job at giving each character their own story arc and then coinciding the story arcs and breaking them apart from each other as well. Yes. Like, man, it was I agree with you completely with the writing. Like, it was really, man, like, I don't know. I can't compare this to anything. You know what I mean? It was so authentic. That's what it is. It was so authentic, man.
Yeah. And you know what? This movie, just with the first one, it changed. I could probably say, I'm not an expert, but I can say it changed the movie landscape in terms of horror, because we've never been at that level or that captivated in a long time.
Yeah. Oh,
for
man.
us, like to get a sequel that's just as good, or could be just as good. I'm excited to see what's to come. I hope we do get like a universe of it. He talked about that it's being a big possibility. I think it just depends on how well this one does, and I think it'll do really well.
Okay, so we're about to get into the spoiler section. I think it's a good time to now. But before we do, I think I want to ask, what would you want from a movie point of view if we had another Quiet Place like movie like in that universe, like not necessarily connected to these two that we have right now, but something that would be kind of break off in the way? Like, would you want to see maybe how the black dude got, like something about that dude, or would you want to see something about how they got to the planet, or you know what I mean? Like, how would you want to see another universe type of movie in this? Would you want it to be this like the same type of thing, following a family? You know what I mean? Or
I think for me, what I would like to see is the perspective of the military, or more importantly, like the response to their American response of like what's happening. Like, did they know that there were meteors coming? Like I want to almost like a political movie, and then all of a sudden shift into like this nightmare, and then to end it all off, that radio, what happens in the end comes up, and hopefully,
okay,
and then, which would lead into the fourth movie.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, hopefully they can take the fight back, or to take the planet back. Hopefully, I don't know.
Yeah, and I don't think it's really showed us the scale of what's going on yet. Like, we know that it's going down in America, or where, you know what I'm saying? Like, we know it's going down there. But as for the rest of the world, what's happening? Where did the stuff go on? I think we should get into the spoilers of the movie, so when we come back to this conversation at the end, we can really have some more good things to talk about. So why don't you get us into the spoiler section of this movie, bro? Like, so what did you think starting off?
Best fucking intro I've ever seen in my fucking life. However, I did want to see more where we left off, and we did and we didn't, because if you remember from the first one, it ends with them initially killing the one, right? And the sound brings two or three more. And they end up killing whatever other ones show up.
Yeah, they killed like all of them, right?
It just shows them, all right, Eric, it's okay. It's okay to leave. We got to dip.
Yeah. I think we actually see those. I think we see the dead bodies of those in the yard when she was running away or whatever. When they were all walking together, we saw the dead bodies of the aliens on the ground. So these are aliens, correct? Like, is that?
Yes,
like,
I believe they came from meteorites. However, I don't know how soon. Like, I don't know if there was different meteors or what, because in the first one, all the newspapers and stuff are on the wall, and it indicates that there was a meteor. Like, a meteor landed and destroyed all of Mexico because it was big as shit, and that's where I think most of them came from. And in the movie, we do see a meteor, but while it's in the air, all shit goes like breaks down, like it gets wild. So they must have already have landed or crashed somewhere else, unbeknownst to everyone else. But it escalated very fast. It really did.
It really did escalate super quickly. This is the spoiler alert part of this as well. So if you guys are just now tuning in, we are talking about A Quiet Place, and there are spoilers right now. So that is one thing that I did not expect. I kind of I don't know if I wanted, but I expected it to be from within the earth or something like that. You know what I mean? Not necessarily Aliens. I didn't know if it was going to be like Stranger Things type of deal. You know what I mean? To where this is like just all like not an alternate dimension, but basically like something's happening and monsters are being created. Exactly. Mm-hmm. But I think the alien move is super, super awesome. Like I thought that like that's why I even said it during the movie to you. I was like, bro, are they aliens, bro? Like, because I was like, yo, this changes a lot of how I view the movie, you know? Because, and once again, it's like, yo, this is just, it was so well put together, man. Like, it was so well put together. When you saw the fire, like, going through the sky, what did you think? Like, what did you think right then?
I don't know. I just knew that, I know they came from meteors. However, I didn't realize how fast everything was going to get started. Yeah. I thought it was going to be like a couple days or a week once that meteor landed, and like we're going to see a little more of like the military reacting and like like news coming in as to what's happening, and then shit going down. But no,
but it was the exact opposite. It was just they all looked in the sky, saw the meteor falling, and then literally as they all left, it was just boom. Like it was a 10 to 15 minute window of like we didn't see the meteor crash land or anything. Like when at the beginning of the movie, which we saw in the trailer as well, John Krasinski like is in the building and he's like, was it a bomb? Like the guy thought it was a bomb, and then people had died from it and all of this other stuff. And then
and that happened in Shanghai. So it was in China.
Oh, okay. So this is like something that basically took place across the world, maybe.
Yeah.
Man, that's insane. Like, whoa.
In terms of what disappointed you?
What disappointed me?
What disappointed you?
I was disappointed.
It's a good movie. It's a good movie, but
no, it is a good movie. But my disappointment stemmed from not seeing as much of the past as I think we should have. Like, just first and foremost, I think we should have saw way more of what happened. Maybe a military response of some kind or something. Like, you know what I mean? Like, we didn't see anything of that sort, and it was just like, man, what's going on really is the main. It was like, why didn't we see the military step in? Why? I know it happened fast, but did it happen that fast? Like, I remember you even saying, like, while it started, you were like, so the military didn't know, like, a fucking meteor is coming to Earth. That
like no one knew.
Like, bro, I know this isn't Avengers or anything, but bro, like there is technology in place for these type of things. Like we can see stuff coming to Earth, like way before it happens. Like this isn't, you know, it's not even, this movie isn't based in the 1900s. Like as far as I know, like, this is modern day technology. So that was super confusing to me as well. So I think, like when I said I had super high expectations, I expected this movie to answer questions, and it really did not answer questions. And I think that's like one of the, I think that might be where a lot of my disappointment spawns from. What about you? How did, like, do you like, cause I know you had high expectations as well. And I know it met them in some some places, but like, how do you feel overall?
You know, adding to what you were saying real quick, I know one of the things we talked about is the movie is only an hour and 30 minutes.
Yes.
Like with a simple 15 minute addition, I think the problem that we're talking about right now could have been solved. Maybe they did include it at one point, but they're like, we don't really need it. Maybe, I don't know what the story is. But if it did have that extra 15, 20 minutes, this movie would have been perfect.
Man, it would have been crazy.
But it kind of met all my expectations. I just wanted to see pick up right where it left off. That was like my main thing. But again, I did want to see more of the stuff that we saw in the newspapers, like with a military response. That's kind of I kind of wanted to see that, even if it was like a small montage of them getting their ass beat by these aliens. Like I would have been happy with that, you know.
Yep.
And I think a lot of people would have as well, just to be able to see that.
I think maybe the main reason is because of it took place in a small town. You know what I mean? And I think that is one of the things that makes this movie great and harms it at the same time. Going back to what we were saying earlier about what we would like to see from a Quiet Place universe, I would love to see like a Cloverfield type event, like maybe in New York, like see like maybe something crashes into a building and you just have people running everywhere, and we didn't really get that, you know, like, and they do a good job without it. You know what I'm saying? I think that's one of the best things about it. But with it being how it is, it's like if he wants to continue these movies, we got to start getting answers. For one, I loved the amount of man, this sounds bad, but the amount of like violence and like how we saw how strong the aliens were, like, and how they could really just rip through people. Like
they were terrifying, bro. They were terrifying.
There's no other way to express that they were literally terrifying, bro. Like they looked amazing. I loved how their faces like peeled apart and like, oh my God. And it was literally like you're saying, bro, it was terrifying, man. Like
I like how we got to see people just get fucking manhandled. Bro.
Just one can just take out an entire city is what it seems like. There doesn't even need to be multiple. And what else? Another thing that I like. Another thing that I like that we saw is that no one knew how to even kill them. You know what I mean? Like that wasn't a thing anyone even thought about doing. And this is a year and a half into this to the event happening, because the movie starts at day 1 and then it skips to 473 days later. So that's a year and some more, like, of them just ravaging through everything, I guess you could say. And man, I just want to see how it takes place in other areas. Like, this is an in-game level event in my head. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want to see it. I want to see how the governments of other places handle it.
Yeah. And you know what? Adding on to that, it happened so fast that people couldn't figure out how to even combat them. The only thing that they were able to figure out is they can't fucking swim. That's the only thing. And it comes back during the story, and we hear it like, we don't see I would have liked to see the actual thing. But someone talked about how that, like, they figured out, oh, they can't swim, so we have to get the National Guard. Hey, get as many people as you can on boats and get them out. But people panicked. And because of that, the town destroyed. Out of the 12 boats, only 2 got out. That's so unfortunate. I would love to see that. That would have been really cool to see.
Yes. And that's another thing. They just keep, I don't know why he takes away from stuff like that. You know, if this third movie, like when we get it, is just on another level and we just see nothing but action the whole time, like imagine seeing it from like the alien point of view. Like, we're on the meteor when the movie starts, and like we just see them like all just in there, and it just lands and they just disperse from it. Like, oh, that would be amazing. Like,
and you know what? I don't remember. I watched the interview. He talked about how obviously it could be more movies are in the works, but a potentially animated series, possibly, or a show, somewhere maybe. But thinking, like, what if it was an animated series similar to like Castlevania, or like that super edgy anime style, bro?
Oh, that would be dope, bro.
That's how they solve all of our questions. That's it. That's all,
like, literally. That's all.
And that's all we need. That's it.
And then they don't even have to call it A Quiet Place. You know what I mean? They like, that can be just the moniker off of them. You know what I mean? Like, it's not A Quiet Place. It's really called like
the fall or something like that.
Yeah, the falling. There you go. Like
that's literally all the falling. Like that's it.
And then we have an AQU, or AQUU, a quiet. AQPU. There you go. A Quiet Place universe. Like that would be amazing. Akpu. I'm down for it. So
how'd you?
What? Go ahead. No, go ahead.
I was already gonna get to the end, but like I want to or like what were your thoughts on the ending? Like do you think it climaxed? Yeah, do you think it kind of was a story?
No.
Story ending good to you?
No.
I think.
No. That's what I think. That's one of my issues is that we didn't get it. To me, it wasn't a good ending. It wasn't a good ending at all. Like I understand why he did it the way he did it, but it was like what at the same it was like, bro, you've just finessed me, like, and you're like give me an end credit scene, dog. Like what? Like,
it's like, hey, you haven't eaten for like 13 days, and I got a nice strip of bacon in your face. Come take the bite, and then gotcha.
And then he eats it, and then he eats it in front of your face,
and then walks off, leaves you, doesn't even leave you water, and that's it.
He doesn't even eat it. He just chews it up and spits it on the floor. He's like, if you want it, there you go, eat it. It just was so. That's what made me so furious. I'll say is like that's where my disappointment was. Like like
because we both were like in the theater, like what? We literally yelled, "What? You're kidding!"
Like at the same time, it was just mutual. What the hell is happening? Like, how dare you, John Krasinski? Like that's how I felt. And
a solid 20 minutes addition.
I think a solid 20 more minutes of flashbacks.
Yeah.
A solid 20 minutes of flashbacks. And what irritated me was I knew where the flashbacks were supposed to be. Like I felt this. I was like, "Ooh, this is about to go to a flashback," and then it was like, "Nope." And I was like, "What?
Yeah.
Like, what? Why not?" Like I thought we were gonna keep seeing the day one, and then go back to day 474, and then go to day 30, and then go back to day 474, and then you know what I mean? Like that's really what. Oh man, it was like so. Why didn't we see what happened with bruh's kids and his wife? Like they're giving us long ass TV show episodes.
Yeah,
that's and really what these are.
I'm assuming the body the kid found
was the wife. Yes,
was the wife. I'm assuming.
We didn't have time we didn't even have time to talk about it. He couldn't tell the mom, like, bro, this nigga got his wife upstairs. Like that, nothing could get explained. There was no time for anything. Like
everyone got their legs fucked up. I don't know, like
what the hell was that? Why did everybody's leg get hurt, bro?
Everyone's leg got, close to getting ripped off, stabbed, broken. Like, I was like, oh my god, like what?
Nobody can get hit in the arm, like
and then like, oh my god,
they either died or they got their leg nearly ripped off.
Yeah,
that was
insane.
You said the only frustration you had, or what?
Oh, the brother.
The fucking brother.
His little ass. Let me tell you that. It was frustrating the whole fucking
whole movie. It was
not like the whole movie, but like he was frustrated. He was very frustrating.
He was frustrating like the majority of the movie. Like
the one time he actually like had the balls to do shit. He just didn't do the right shit. Like he was like, bro, he had one job.
Like, man, take your ass back home.
Your leg's not even healed. Like you're fucked. Like you can't do anything. And yet, here it was. Oh, I'm gonna go walk up the top floor of this building, look out this window with some binoculars, and then you stumble upon something else, fall, and all shit just sinks.
Yeah. Like, man, honestly, and I was so mind blown that they didn't talk about anything that was happening. Like, bro, why do you have booby traps around this place for monsters to come? Like, well, that didn't make sense to me. I didn't think it was going to be like a friendly person. I thought he was going to be like a like one of the dudes that pulled up on them later on. You know what I mean? That's why that's the vibes that I got. And then it was like, nah, this is just him, and he just made Helen. So anybody that comes over there is gonna die, and then they're gonna get their leg trapped in some shit and and get ate. Like, dang, that was it was just crazy, bro. But he was there with his lady, so I understand.
Yeah, and you know what? As a whole, though, I'm happy. It was a great first time, and it was a great movie theater experience. You know, going back to be able to experience that was awesome.
Yeah.
The ending for me, I want to say I didn't like it, but I liked it. I'm like,
yes, I agree.
I just I would have liked to see more.
Yes.
It's not always cool to get cliffhangers like that, but it's also cool to get cliffhangers like that. I don't know. It's just
like
I guess we have to wait and see. I don't know.
I will say that I agree with you completely. Because that is something that we do kind of complain about sometimes, is like not getting good cliffhangers from movies. Yeah. And unfortunately, these cliffhangers are too damn good because they literally end as a TV episode. And that's something that we never really see is a movie that's created like a TV show. Because that's literally, I don't know a better way to even say it. You know what I mean? Yeah. The way the scenes are cut, the way it's shot, the way it looks, it's a movie level TV show. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like each part ends with you knowing there's going to be another part. You know that there's something else that's going to be amazing to see, and I'm all in for it. Disappointment with the ending, though. Still, like it's like, bro, give us a little cohesiveness. That's one thing that there was no cohesive book end, but there's not supposed to be, which I understand.
Yeah, and it was very similar to the first one in that aspect. And that, had that cliffhanger.
So, what would you give this movie out of 10?
8.5, maybe even a 9.
Okay, all right.
Yeah,
I agree with you. I'll give it a solid. I'll give it like an 8. I'll give it like an 8, man, because the ending really was frustrating for me. Like that really frustrated me to the point of like, like it was like that frustrating for me. Like
it had us invested. It had us invested, man. That's what that's how good this movie was. It had us so invested that we were upset.
Because it was just so good that this movie could have easily been 2 hours and 30 minutes. Like
I wish it was longer. I really do.
Like it was an hour and 30. It could have easily had another hour, and I would have sat there through the entire thing. Like no doubt about it, man. Like, I'll give it that solid 8. I'll give it an 8 because of the ending for me, and because I really wanted more flashbacks. So that really made me a little sad. But it literally is a great movie. And if you guys can, you should definitely go to your local theater and check it out if it's open. I think all theaters open? Is everything open?
Most of them are open now.
In June, I think everything is actually going full blown.
Yeah. It just so happened to be that our theaters didn't open until like a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago. But other places I know aren't open, but they will be in due time. But yeah, go experience this movie in theaters. It's an awesome experience. Let us know what you guys think of the movie when you guys check it out. It's definitely a movie that you need to watch. It's going to be remembered for a long time.
And you need to experience in the theaters if you can, because there's just nothing like it. Because you're gonna, even if there's not a lot of people in your theater, the people that are there will be gasping, and you will hear them. Like you're gonna hear them, because it's just one of those movies that has you invested in the experience.
Yep, I agree. Yep. But I think that about calls it up. We don't want to talk about too many spoilers, but we talked a little bit about spoilers. Go experience this movie.
That's awesome. Experience the movie and then come back and watch this again, and drops in the comments and let us know how you felt about it, because this movie is amazing. I will say that much. It is amazing. So let's go ahead and wrap it up there, brother.
All right. With that said, if you haven't already, please make sure to follow us on all of our social medias at Marvel Bros 23 on our Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and our YouTube channel where we post all of our videos and a lot more.
That's right. And you can also now listen to all of our past pop culture news updates on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Google Podcasts. And, listen to them there. And you can also join our website or join our Discord, www.marvelbros.com. You can purchase merchandise, you can donate, and keep up with everything that we do here for you guys. So with all that being said, thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.